On a calm April afternoon in a remote village in Kamchatka, a ripple of astonishment spread through the community. Someone had spotted a wild polar bear along the coast, a sight none of the villagers had ever witnessed before. The news traveled quickly, and soon many gathered to catch a glimpse of the magnificent animal. But how had this Arctic creature found its way to a region hundreds of kilometers from its natural habitat? The story of how the bear arrived in Kamchatka is as fascinating as it is heartbreaking. Experts believe that while the young polar bear was foraging for food on the Arctic ice sheets, a piece of ice broke away from the mainland, stranding the animal. The ice floe likely carried him aimlessly for days or weeks, forcing him to endure hunger, fatigue, and isolation. By the time the bear reached the shores of Kamchatka, he was exhausted and far from home, 700 kilometers away. Driven by hunger, the polar bear began exploring the unfamiliar land. He attempted to find food by digging into the earth, but the warmer climate and the lack of Arctic prey made his efforts futile. Weak and disoriented, the bear eventually moved closer to the village, his desperation growing with every passing moment. Despite his hunger, the bear initially avoided direct contact with humans. From a distance, he could hear the sounds of villagers going about their daily routines. His instincts warned him to stay away, but his physical condition made him take a risk. Hunger and exhaustion led him to approach a particular building on the outskirts of the village, unaware that it was the local police station. Too weak to continue, the bear collapsed near the building. He lay there, clutching an injured paw to his chest, his eyes filled with an expression of quiet desperation. The sight was both majestic and heartbreaking. It seemed as though the animal was pleading for help. It didn't take long for the local police to notice their extraordinary visitor. Two officers cautiously approached to assess the situation. From a distance, they could see the bear's immense size and the sharp claws on his massive paws. His white fur shimmered in the sunlight, a stark contrast to his exhausted demeanor. Despite his intimidating appearance, it was clear to the officers that the animal was in distress. They quickly called local wildlife authorities, who arrived to evaluate the situation. The bear, who was given the affectionate nickname Umka by the villagers, was treated for his injured paw. The experts also provided a safe space where he could rest. Meanwhile, the villagers, moved by Umka's plight, began bringing him fish and other food in hopes of helping him recover. However, Umka ate very little, a sign that he was deeply unsettled in the unfamiliar environment. Word of Umka's arrival spread quickly, turning him into a local celebrity. People from nearby villages traveled to see the polar bear, eager to catch a glimpse of the magnificent creature. To ensure both the bear's safety and the villagers, the local police carefully controlled access, keeping onlookers at a safe distance. Despite the care and attention he received, it was clear that Umka longed to return to his Arctic home. Experts soon concluded that Umka's survival in Kamchatka was highly unlikely. The region's warmer climate and lack of suitable prey posed a significant threat to his well-being. A plan to return him to the Arctic became the priority, but the logistics of such an operation were daunting. The distance, combined with the challenges of handling such a large and unpredictable animal, made the task seem nearly impossible. Despite these challenges, the villagers and authorities refused to give up. The regional governor's office worked with the Ministry of Emergency Situations to organize a rescue operation. A helicopter was arranged to transport Umka back to his icy home, and a specially designed transport cage was built to ensure his safety during the journey. 8 days after his arrival in the village, the daring rescue mission began. Wildlife experts sedated Umka to minimize his stress during the flight. The sedated bear was then carefully placed into the custom-made cage and loaded onto the helicopter. As the helicopter prepared for takeoff, villagers gathered to bid farewell, cheering and waving as they watched their unexpected guest begin his journey back home. The flight was long and nerve-wracking. Halfway through the journey, the unexpected happened. Umka began to wake up. The crew's tension was palpable. A fully conscious polar bear could pose a significant danger, potentially attempting to break free from the cage or destabilize the helicopter. Such an event could jeopardize the entire mission and the safety of everyone on board. But remarkably, Umka remained calm. Though alert, he made no aggressive movements and seemed to understand that the humans around him were trying to help. His large eyes followed the crew's movements, his demeanor quiet and observant. The team worked carefully to avoid startling him, and the flight continued without further incident. After hours in the air, the helicopter finally reached its destination, a remote Arctic location chosen to give Umka the best chance of survival. The cage was opened, and for a brief moment, Umka hesitated. He stood still, taking in his surroundings. Then, with renewed energy, he stepped out onto the snow. Slowly at first, and then with increasing speed, he began running toward the vast, icy wilderness that was his true home. The mission was a resounding success. Against all odds, Umka was safely returned to his natural habitat. The villagers, wildlife experts, and authorities involved in the operation celebrated their achievement, proud to have played a part in saving the life of this extraordinary animal. Umka's incredible journey, from being stranded on a drifting ice floe to finding refuge in a Kamchatka village and finally returning to the Arctic, became a powerful story of resilience and compassion. It highlighted the lengths to which people can go to protect and preserve the natural world, reminding us of our shared responsibility toward wildlife. If this heartwarming tale inspired you, make sure to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching.